Morning guys, CryptoMark back on the next KRC20 wallet tracking journey. KRC20s of course being meme coins on the Kaspa network. Down the left hand side are the tokens that we're talking about, individual projects. They were all bought for $10 to $12 in and around that region. Christmas time, January, December last year, this year, last year. Been running about, obviously 9 months now, 9.5 months, something like that. Varying levels of success along the way. Tokens are doing different things, as you can see. These are the monetary value of them as we speak now, down this column here. Quite a lot of them have gone to zero, as you can see. Several of them have gone low, a couple of dollars, and just trended like that all the way along. Some have done really well, up like 15x, that kind of thing. Up sort of 8x now, sitting there. That one, which is Wolfie, which is the mainstay really. And then just like I said before, they're all their own projects, so they've all done varying levels of success along the way. The whole piece cost $280. Was down quite a bit early doors, halfway along, and then gradually we've sort of ticked back up, as you can see. But a big spike here this is when Wolfie broke out. And a couple of others, Pluto, another token that's done really well, and we're just shy of the overall cost basis at this moment in time. Now, this exercise is just for fun, really, not financial advice. I'm not suggesting anybody buys any of the ones I've bought on here, or anything at all for that matter. It's just a fun exercise I wanted to do when I wanted to chart a journey through. I've seen other projects, and I've seen other people on YouTube and various places do a tracking journey, but it kind of tails off. I wanted to do one where I'm committed to doing it every week and just see where it goes, basically just for a bit of fun, bit of nostalgia. I look back on it when some of these could be worth loads, potentially. That's kind of what could happen. So what I wanted to do today was just have a look. You can see there's a couple here. There's a few where they did have values in them at one point, and then the values have stopped tracking on the various different places I look for the prices. So I just wanted to touch base with them and see if they're actually still a valid project, or they're actually dead and the amount should be zero. And if that's the case, that's the case. But we'll have a look and see. So just randomly, I'll start with Sharky, which is down here. We'll go and have a look. Actually, what we'll do first, we'll just have a little look at the leaderboard of the KRC20s. The top 20 or so, I dare say they'll be the same ones, and they are pretty much. So we've got Zeal out there at the lead, 20 million. Zeal being the swap that's coming when smart contracts come out, where you can actually trade your tokens, and there's going to be liquidity. There already is liquidity set aside, I'm aware of, from a lot of these big tokens, where they've given the liquidity to Zeal, and it's ready to go once the smart contracts are in place. I'll show you what I mean a bit later, because at the minute, if you want to buy and sell tokens, it's a bit more difficult. It's not just as easy as the conventional go to a DEX and swap Kaspa for Nacho back to Kaspa, for example. It's more of a P2P buy and sell market. You offer what you're selling at whatever price you're selling it at, then somebody else has to come along and buy that. So that's why I think the KRC20s have had a bit of a downturn and lost a bit of impetus really along the way throughout the course of this journey. This journey kind of coincides more or less from when KRC20s were in their infancy. They came out about a year ago now, like last September actually, probably a year ago to the day, in fact, more or less. I think it was the 15th of September, if I remember rightly, last year. It did launch in July, but it didn't really work properly. So anyway, they come back in September and started then. But then obviously what's happened is there was a big kerfuffle about them at the beginning, and yes, people got into them and such like, but then it's not really developed on that much, and it's a bit cumbersome to sell them, as I've spoke about. You have to use bots to buy them. They're on some very small exchanges, really. There was an issue with Change Finance where the liquidity got lost, or whatever happened with that. I'll just say no more. I don't really know 100% what happened, but it kind of went belly up. And now we're waiting for smart contracts. When smart contracts come out and you can buy any KRC20 easily on a DEX, as easy as swapping the top one to Kaspa, the bottom one to whichever one of these you want to buy, and then putting in however much Kaspa, 100, 200, 500, whatever, and then buying and instantly getting them, and then instantly being able to sell them back when you want as well. I think that's going to be what's really going to kick KRC20s along. Added to the fact that when the smart contracts are out, there'll be all the noise that comes with that. All the noise about transaction speed, which I'll show you in a little bit as well, something I've noticed. The hype will be here. Obviously, hopefully the bull market will be flying. You can see a perfect correlation where all these things happen in close proximity, and that will be a reason why I could see these really taking off. So yeah, remains to be seen. There's lots of little bits that can happen and not happen in between and all that sort of thing. But as ever, it's just best laid plans, and then we'll see how it goes really. So Nacho is in there as second. Omni.kas, these are more or less Kaspa. Got that on launch day when it came out, minted that. Conan, yeah, more or less the same names really, which is good. And I know these guys are still working and they're still active on the Telegrams, Twitters, and all that sort of stuff. So it's all good. One thing about when the smart contracts come out, what we're going to have to do, from what I've seen, is bridge with KRC20 tokens from where they are now over to the smart contracts. How that works and everything's yet to be finalised, I think. But the teams are involved in working that out and how that's going to happen. So yeah, that's just something that'll have to happen, but that's fine. I'm sure that's work in progress going on at the minute. So yeah, what was I going to look for? Sharky. What happens? This site is good, this CAS FYI, but very often tokens vanish. The data vanishes off here. So wherever that's scraping the details from, I don't know, but the information vanishes, and then you can't get the price. And if I've got this in my wallet, which I have, then the price of it vanishes because it must be picking the price information up from this site, presumably. It's the only thing I can think of, and that would make sense. So what we'll do is we'll have a little look on X. See if there's any posting. It's a decent starter for 10, because if you come on here and they're not posting, and they haven't been posting for months, then your answer probably is that it's dead. If that's different and they are posting, then that's different, and that's, fingers crossed, what's happening. So 29th of August, that's not that long ago. Big news, Sharky Farm. The devs have successfully launched Sharky on testnet. It's now tradable on Zealous Swap. So test it out. Alright, that's the test environment, which I've done in the previous video where I showed people how you can swap the tokens. But essentially like that, you pick, it was WrapCas I think at the time, and then you would pick Sharky, and then you can just swap it. What we've got, 16th of September, cash on strength. Sharky's reposted, so they're reposting, albeit other people's posts. Sharky 2 on KAS. Oh, that is this one. Let's see what's going on if we get on the Telegram. Telegrams are paying for open. KAS. That didn't open, did it? View on Telegram. Sharky, right. General. 1800 posts. We'll get to the bottom here, see what's going on. Sharky on testnet again. contract Sharky. I mean, I can't see much if I'm honest, but there's still some posting going on. Looks so still people buying. Right, okay, we'll have a look somewhere else. I'll show you a different thing that we can look at. Kaspa.com marketplace. So what I have to do for this exercise on the spreadsheet, when the tokens aren't showing on KasFYI, which is on here, and it's not giving a price, where I'm getting my price from is based on here and what they're actually selling for and being bought for, and that's the only real correlation I've got to go off. Now, does that mean that if I try to sell however many Sharky I've got, that someone's going to pick it up and buy it? No, it doesn't, and that's the problem. Just because this person here has offered 500,000 Sharky for 120 KAS, which is $10.66, just changed there. If no one buys it, no one buys it. So it's basically, it's therefore not worth that if it's not being bought, if you get what I mean. So this is how it's the P2P, the buyer and the seller market, so to speak. So it's difficult to gauge 100% what is going on with it when that's the case, because you rely on people buying and selling, and it's not just as simple as being in a liquidity pool where you would just go and buy what you want for the price that it is at that time. So yeah, that's the situation anyhow. There's the holders, that's the price, that's the volume. So what I'll do, just for the sake of argument, I'll show you what I mean. So Sharky, I haven't got how many Sharky I've got on there. Right, I'd have to log into my wallet to see how many Sharky I've got. But what I would do is I would look, and if I've got like 1 million, I think I've got 200,000 or something, to be honest. But if I had 1 million, that's kind of what the ballpark figure would be that it's got what class is worth, because that's what it's being sold for. And these ones here are the cheapest prices, and then the more you go down, the more the price goes up. So for 100,000 Sharkies wanting 300 Kaspa, someone for 100,000 years wanting 50 Kaspa. So you can see the difference is a lot. So if you just come along, you didn't know what you were doing, and you just thought, oh, I'll buy that 60,000 Kaspa for 60,000 Sharky, sorry, for 1.1k, you could spend nearly $100 on 60,000 Sharky, where if you came to the top, you could buy 10 times the amount, nigh enough, for 10 times less the amount. So just be cautious if you're using this, that you need to be looking for the best value, the cheapest ones. So okay, right, that's kind of that. So yeah, what I'll do for next week, I'll put the figures in properly. I'll work out how many Sharky I've got. I didn't record how many I bought. I should have done that really in hindsight. I've got the market caps, how many holders there were, and then I've reviewed that again later on, but I haven't put the actual physical amount that I bought. It's probably a decent idea to change that and add that in actually. So anyhow, that's where we're at with that. So in fairness, potentially it's all right. It's alive. They're doing the testnet on Zealous. It's just stopped reporting the amounts since the beginning of August on KasFYI, so therefore I haven't been able to pick it up. So that kind of is what it is, I suppose. So let's just have a look, some of that details, some of that Kaspa news, see where we're at with things. I've seen bits and pieces about the expedition, that the expo thing that was on in Berlin over the weekend. I've seen Wolfie were there, Omni were there. I've seen some of the videos and stuff they've done, look good. Some good speakers and some good feedback from what I've seen. That was going on at the event. So it looks good, looks bullish. Just search Kaspa and see what we're getting on the trend. I'll show you the speed thing that I noticed. Very interesting, in fact. So here we are. Kaspa has just doubled its previous throughput record, processing over 3,500 transactions per second. That's madness. Now, these were done in a sort of test environment, I think, where a bot was built to push that many transactions to check that, to see that it was doable, really. So it wasn't physically 3,500 people buying something at any one time. It was a bot that was created to show it, but still the same result, to show it that it actually could handle it. So that got us thinking, because I know me, Kaspa enthusiast, obviously making videos about Kaspa all the time. You guys watching this, most likely the same, with a similar mindset. And for me, you know, we've spoke about many times about Kaspa being the best crypto that there is, that I can see. I can't see anything wrong that's going to stop it getting where it can go, being a powerhouse. It just needs time, and it just needs adoption. It needs people to know about it. Things like this are massively going to help when people start seeing this and start taking note and thinking, oh, crikey, what's all this about? Look a bit further into it, like we probably all did. You would have looked a little bit further into it. Curiosity probably got the better of you at some point. You look into it, and then you go, you know what it is? This has got the legs to be able to go on and do major things. And if you think about, well, I'm thinking about what the world's looked like over the last 5-10 years, how much things have changed. For me, it feels like fiat being taken over by something else, or not even necessarily fully taken over, but something else running alongside fiat or in conjunction or part of a monetary system, world system. I don't see why it couldn't be Kaspa. I really don't. And things like the speed and the security and all of the bits that we've got would really help push Kaspa's case to be that one that could be the mainstay that could do it. And at one point you would have thought, well, I would have thought, like, fiat being taken away and not existing anymore would just be too much to comprehend, that it wouldn't happen, really. But now I can see a point where that could be a reality, given all the stuff that we've seen, all the madness that the world's been through in the last however long. So it doesn't feel as outlandish a thought that fiat could eventually give way to something else, something better. So yeah, there we go. That's the speed. And then I thought, I know what, we'll have a little look, because Visa have been around, I looked before, since 1958. And I remember, because that's my dad's year of birth. And it says the average processing rate is generally reported to be 17,000 transactions per second, 1,700 transactions per second, saying it's got a max capacity peak of around 65,000 transactions per second. So that's a lot, obviously, 65,000 all over the world. But that average is 1,700. So when we look back here, that's double what Visa's average is per second. So the capability and the scope is there to be able to do it. It's just the infrastructure, everything with the card readers, all the other infrastructure that you would need. But the fact that it could work with the infrastructure is massively positive in my eyes. And it's obviously the adoption, like we spoke about, and all of this, which again is just a time thing. And I keep alluding to it, and I'm repeating myself over and over again, but when Bitcoin was in its infancy, it had challenges and delays, and it's built up over all this time to where it is now. And for me, it just feels like Kaspa is Bitcoin 10 years ago, basically, and we're on that same journey. But the upside potential, well, what was the upside potential? What was the upside, not potential, but actual reality of Bitcoin from 10 years ago to now? And if you think that Kaspa could have a similar trajectory in terms of performance and value increase and all of that over the next 10 years, hence the reason why I'm in Kaspa, believe in it, talk about it, and promote all things Kaspa. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where my thoughts are at. They don't really change. Smart contracts got delayed. My thoughts on it don't change. Nothing's changed. It's just they got delayed. Well, they want to be 100% that it's working correctly. So rather that than it come out and not work. So you know that shows good business acumen, really. So yeah, there's a lot of people going on about it. Look, yeah, it's big news. It is big news. Why would you not? Wolfie, that's the guys from Wolfie. Oh yeah, I recognise these people off some of the streams I watch. Smart contracts, smart contract deployment sequence initiated. So that means that potentially that they're on their way. And this is which one of these are you people? Which one are you? Shark, dolphin, fish. I'm not going to say which one I am. I'm obviously one of them on there. Who's the Aquaman? One person. It's got 1 billion Kaspa. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think like a lot of people that maybe started in one of them and then try to work to the next one, try to work to the next parameter up. Kaspa, the fastest proof of work in history. There we go. You heard it on here. And I heard it on X, so don't take my word for it. Kaspa coin support for Ledger. Alright, okay, Ledger. I've got a Tangent myself, but that's good. The more adoption in whatever way it is obviously of benefit, regardless of what it is. We've seen this chart last week where, yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about. There's Bitcoin 2012 to 16, Kaspa 21 to 25. That's where we are, and that's where ideally we'll go. Kaspa t-shirts. I need to get a Kaspa t-shirt, definitely. So yeah, good, all good. Da Vinci, he spoke about Kaspa before, hasn't he? Is he still bullish on it? Is that someone asking him the question there? Oh, he's saying something about Kaspa. Oh, let's have a listen then.
Your wealth on something that's only because no, I'm talking about like a disruptive technology. Let's just say Kaspa, right, is an example of that. It's probably 2 times better than Bitcoin. The money. Their Kaspa coin, right? It's 2 times better than Bitcoin. But is it really worth, right, risking your wealth on something that's only 2x better, right? That's only twice as better than Bitcoin? Probably not, right? It's not worth it. Some people will think it is, right?
Yeah, they'll choose to buy it.
Exactly. Because no.
So I don't know whether that's did he really saying that, or is that AI generated or something? But I think what he's probably talking about is they look like their Bitcoin maxis with all the Bitcoin paraphernalia and things on. What he's probably maybe saying is these maxis who have just been Bitcoin all the way aren't going to take all their Bitcoin out and put it all into Kaspa. That's fair enough, but what I have seen some maxis sort of mention and do, and obviously there must be fairly smart cookies if they're maxis and they've been in Bitcoin and made a load of money. They've seen the vision from however many years ago, most likely, when they got into it. Potentially they're seeing the same vision again with Kaspa, so they're possibly putting in a bag of to their risk appetite. Maybe it's a few grand or whatever, I don't know. But that's kind of, if I was a Bitcoin big bag holder and I had been in, and I got into it for the right reasons, I got into it, yeah, probably hit lucky, just thought I'd take a punt on it. Maybe that might be what a lot of them done. But anyway, needless to say, if they've made a big ton of money, then potentially they're looking to see if they can repeat that process again. And Kaspa would be the one where you could do it, in my eyes. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the matter anyhow. Yeah, there's somebody asking Crypto.com when they're getting Kaspa on. I think they're a bit preoccupied at the minute with all the stuff they've got going on with that ETF and the stuff with Trump and whatnot. But yeah, there we go. We'll leave it here for this week, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. I'll be back next week, and we'll go again. And yeah, at some point, smart contracts will be out, and we'll review all of that when that happens. And I might even do the bridging live on here, so people can see how you do it when you bridge your KRC20s over to whatever the new smart contract place looks like when you have to bridge across. So anyhow, I'll leave it there for now, guys. Cheers. Bye bye.